quality.
Mind. They didn't mount the CPU on the main motherboard, but instead a whole separate daughter board that you can just swap out. I mean, compare that to Apple now. I guess when you're the underdog, you want to do everything you can to show how pro-consumer you are. This was a time when Apple did need to prove themselves. But to be fair, I don't imagine that the vast majority would even be upgrading, considering that this thing's power was up to 3 times the 100s. And that in the early days of computers, that's really all it was about. The entire computer race was not about having the super differentiated, super advanced softwares that we have now. It was basically just a competition to see who could get that.
Yeah, it's just competition. Okay, so what do we got? We got the Macintosh Portable, the what's it? PowerBook 100, and now PowerBook 100 times 5. Oh, that makes sense.
The highest number in performance. Apple did a couple of refresh versions of these laptops over the next couple of years, but the next proper game changer came 3 years after the 500 with the PowerBook G3.
Oh, G3. Makes sense. Right.
Performance. Apple did a couple of refresh versions of these laptops over the next couple of years, but the next proper game changer came 3 years after the 500 with the PowerBook G3.
Oh wait, PowerBook G3.
In 1997. So at least at this point I had been born. And this might
Yeah, that's when he had been born.
well be the most excitement that's ever existed for an Apple computer, mostly
Okay.
thanks to what it's powered by. As their market power and their scale
Wait, is that Steve Jobs or Tim Cook? I don't remember.
started to grow, Apple was no longer going to settle for just using an off-the-shelf Motorola chip, and so
Okay.
decided to form an alliance with them and IBM to produce a series of chips called PowerPC. And
PowerPC.
this machine was its first mainstream debut. This was the fastest laptop in the world, and it
Fastest laptop in the world at that time. And the logo was still colorful. That makes sense.
wasn't even close. We're talking 250 to 500 megahertz chips, while also doubling the previous generation's RAM up to a massive 32 megabytes. But something interesting was also happening within Apple around this time. So Steve Jobs, the guy who founded the company and who was responsible for a lot of its early success, basically got kicked out because of a massive disagreement with the board of directors.
Wait. Why?
But 1997 was when he returned as CEO. And when he came back, he wasn't happy with what the company had done, and he started making a lot of changes very quickly. You can even see it happening in real time watching the PowerBook G3s progress with each revision of them, to the point where by the time Apple released the final G3 PowerBooks, the top-of-the-line so-called Wall Street G3s at $7,300 in today's money, they looked so different. Unexpectedly weighty, this one. Just doesn't look like a MacBook. The fact that the screen is so expansive and the bezel so small, it does feel very high-end. So still very much the laptop that's trying to do everything. Kind of wish modern MacBooks had a bit of curvature on. It makes it way nicer for your palms. There we go. That's the modern Apple sound. So they finally stuck with something. You can tell this is the computer to buy for bragging rights. Oh, and this is the old school Apple Beach Ball for the loading. It's such a nice screen in comparison. Internet Explorer! We're talking about at a time when Safari was just going to see the elephants. Got like a watch for a loading icon. Look at that. Adobe Photoshop 6.0. Actually starts up faster than the current one does. And the Apple logo in the corner is the shiny, colorful one. Wow, remember iTunes.
iTunes.
This is Dave. He's trying to learn a language the traditional way.
Next one.